Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday, the 31st of May, 2020. So welcome everyone, and I'm going to have a look at the US dollar basket and the some of the currencies, just run through those. I'm starting off here with a obviously daily, weekly, and monthly, and having a look at the US dollar index. Now, what is significant, and last week I was saying that I wasn't really expecting much change, but because I wasn't really expecting it to break out this soon. But it's nice. It is very nice to see it's actually broken a little bit out of that range, broken to the downside. However, it is still stuck within a larger range on the monthly time frame, which sits closer to 94.50 than 95 and 94. And so I won't really relax until we do that. There's also some significant support that lies at 97. And so we could see how that reacts. Price might even go back into the range. But for now, it's very interesting. I'll be looking this week to see if we come back in and we find some local resistance and then head lower down towards 97. That's effectively what's on my watch list this week. If that happens, then at the same time, I'll be looking at euro dollar, looking for long opportunities. So I think it's quite reasonable for me to wait for pullbacks, potentially to this area, at least back into the moving averages, and looking for bullish candles and looking for potential long opportunities. But I would highlight that, at least for me, at any rate, it's still very much range bound. Okay, we're still within this area, and therefore it just means I'm going to be faster to take profits and not necessarily expecting a very strong trend to kick in place just yet. But it is nice to note that. And again, so sterling broke out and then looked a bit weak and then has crossed back over the line. So that's reintroduced uncertainty there. If we look at it on a monthly time frame, you can see a strong level of support there. Okay, so that has really kind of stepped itself off the table there, not really looking that good. Aussie dollar still looking very, very nice here. It is now approaching those monthly levels of support and resistance back into the moving averages. And again, it's something I'm still prepared for. It's really all about price and location. And here I'm looking, and it is still, for me, a very real possibility that this week I could see price turn around. So I will keep an eye on that, but it is looking really nice and bullish on the side. Kiwi dollar, similar as well. Looking nice and bullish there as well, and again coming back up into these key levels. All right, having a look at dollar yen. Dollar yen largely sideways, and again, you know, I kind of say this most of the time. Dollar yen has been range bound for several years, and I don't really find it to be a really great in terms of trading opportunities. Again, I would need it to break outside of these ranges, and they work very hard to make sure that the Japanese yen is counterbalanced against the US dollar. So even if we get a really strong move, it's on the US dollar part, which might move a lot of the other currencies, it's not necessarily going to be the case when it comes to the Japanese yen. Dollar Swissy now starting to approach the bottom of its range. I find that quite interesting. If you're looking on the weekly, you can see that kind of starting to head lower. There may be a break below this level. And again, on the monthly, it's pretty clear that there is very much range-bound activity happening here as well. So not too much going on there. And it's not even at the bottom of its longer-term range. But I still think I'll keep an eye on that, and that could turn out to be interesting. Dollar CAD starting to head to the downside as well. So that deeper retracement on that monthly time frame, just having a look here, having broken out, coming back here, may well find support. And so my expectation in the shorter term is to see price head down to testing that level at 1.36. All of those really, most of them leaning towards, I say all of them except for dollar yen, most of them leaning towards a stronger US dollar this coming week, and a weaker US dollar this week, which means that most of the other pairs will be strengthening, and I'll be looking for opportunities on most likely focusing on the Aussie and Kiwi pairs initially, and euro dollar. I quite like the look of that, and I'll just keep an eye on dollar CAD. And that's really it in terms of the majors and minors for me this week.